Hello, Miss V. Long time no see. Oh, that rhymes.
No, see, yes. Hello, hello, hello. And yes, while we don't see each other, you're always in my heart.
And you the same. Oh, we should make some Hallmark cards together.
There you go. Another thing, we need one more thing to do.
Yeah, really. Okay. So somebody told me that we should interview the sun. And it's really interesting because before when I had time, I was watching a Gaia program, and I think it was my crush, Mateus De Stefano. So cute. Anyway, that said that the heavenly bodies, like the earth, etc., are like the ultimately evolved souls, I don't know, entities, that they are super involved and that do have consciousness. So so I guess we can. Let's channel the sun.
Let's do it.
Here comes the sun. Da, 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 da. We're gonna break down all sorts of songs. Hello, Mr. Sun. What
Hello.
what kind of energy are you getting?
So it feels like you would think it feels. It's very expansive. It's very inclusive. And there's a warmth, of course, not a physical warmth, but a warmth that I can feel deep in my heart as this
loving heart. I mean, a loving feeling.
As this consciousness enters into this space, I just feel this loving, open, vibrating feeling.
Oh, wow.
And in here, it actually goes here and into here.
Wow. That's beautiful. So thank you for letting us channel you and learn from you. Are you picking up any kind of gender at all?
Masculine.
Oh, yeah. Figured.
It feels very masculine, very powerful, all-knowing.
Yeah. By the way, Erik, I love you. Thank you for bringing the sun in.
Love you back.
You know, as a kid, I always had this fear, not always, but I went through this period where I had this fear, it must have been 10 or so, that the sun would eventually just, that's it. And we would just be the earth would become one giant ice cube. So I was really worried about when is the sun just going to flame out and die. So can you talk to us about your longevity?
So he says it's not possible. It's not possible that I would flame out and die because I am consciousness that is forever. I am the source of all. And as such, I don't lose my power, my strength, my being.
Well, would you lose your role, as many stars do? You know, they turn into supernovas or whatever, and just like and stop giving the life energy to the planet. Would you ever lose that role? You continue your consciousness, of course, but would you ever stop providing for the earth?
You must understand that long before any human existed or anything existed, there was me. There was this infinite, all-knowing, all-being light. And that is something that is a continuation. It doesn't go away.
All right. So what makes you different from other suns, so to speak, in other solar systems? Or are you?
I am the creator of life.
Oh,
I am the sustainer of life.
Is that different than the suns, you know, and other solar systems?
He says that they exist because of him.
Oh, okay. So you're very
loving, benevolent feeling. There's no arrogance here. It's very loving and very benevolent.
Who is your favorite? What is your favorite planet?
He says Earth, of course.
Oh, are they your children? I mean, what is your relationship with the planets, I have questions, but I haven't been looking at them.
My relationship to the planets is like my relationship to everything else. We are all interconnected. We are all equally important when it comes to sustaining and maintaining a consistency. When I talk about consistency, I'm not talking about your human consistency. I'm talking about consciousness as a consistency.
I see. So let's talk about your form of consciousness, your sentient, self-aware consciousness,
Mhm.
like source, right?
Mhm.
So can you tell me more?
So there is an instance where there is this internal process, just like with all of nature, where I grow and I expand. It isn't about me getting bigger or getting brighter. Like you might think if you plant a seed, it will grow into something and get bigger. My growth comes from people, humans in this instance, stepping into the light. The light being literal and figurative. The literal light is, as you would look at spiritually speaking, the light, the awakening, if you will. And the physical experience is getting into my physical light, letting it hit your body, letting it nourish your body. That's how I grow bigger and stronger and more powerful. You see, humanity, as I created it, was meant to feed me, to grow me.
Oh, interesting. Like I say, on the Gaia episode with Matthias Stefano, he said that the celestial bodies that's the ultimate in spiritual evolution, becoming a celestial body. I don't know, maybe I got it wrong. So if that's the case, what were you before when you first started evolving? What did you start out as?
Understand that.
Did you start out in the mailroom sorting?
He says, understand that there was no before. I am the I am.
Are you source? Are you saying you are source, or are you whole and part of source like we are?
I am the I am. Very adamant. I am the I am. And so, and I have chill bumps. This is the creator of all life. If you're looking for me to take form, this is my form.
Oh, I see.
And off of my form came all the other forms in the galaxy. I am the one that holds it all together.
Wow. Oh, what is your name? Do you have a true name?
Call me whatever you want.
What do you call yourself? Me, a name, I call myself. I told you there's going to be a lot of songs in this one.
Would you like a name for me? Because that's a human thing. And I will certainly give you a human name if you'd like.
Yes.
Manos.
Okay, Manos.
Manos, Manos.
All right, cool.
However you'd like to say it.
All right. How long have you been giving Earth its light?
Since before time, trillions and trillions. Before I was the sun, you asked me that question. I was always the sun as you know it, but I did not always emit and be as big as I am. As I mentioned to you, every time someone comes to the light, every time there's an awakening, an ascension, I got bigger and I got bigger and I got bigger. Now, some of you will not comprehend this concept because you will be thinking in terms of scientific knowledge. Yes. And that's one way to think of it as scientific knowledge. Yes, there are all kinds of things happening scientifically, but we're here to talk about the principle of oneness and the principle of the light and the awareness or the growth of humanity.
Interesting. All right. So some people have seen pictures of huge spaceships going into the sun's surface. Is that true? And so, is there life, any sort of life on Earth? I mean, on the sun?
There isn't life as you would know it. This topic is very broad in the sense that it can go so many places because the human mind will limit it, will keep it in a space where people can comprehend. I'm not trying to talk down, he says. I'm trying to keep it so that the learning is helpful to individuals.
Sure.
So yes, there are particles of life
Oh, okay.
out of me.
On you or in you or both?
In me. In me.
Oh, interesting. Now, Dolores Cannon apparently talks about a civilization that lives in / on the sun, and she also said that the sun isn't really hot. Can you speak to that?
I'm not really hot in the sense that humans understand hot. You see, as I shine on you, as my light comes to you, you will feel a warmth. But I'm not hot like people think, as if you can't exist on me. You must be the right species and you must be at the right location to exist on me. The answer is there life on me? There is life everywhere.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. So,
The people of the sun.
the people of the sun. Are there divine beings living in or on the sun, a little higher than the astral world, like the ninth dimension or something similar?
Angelic realm.
There is.
Ascended masters.
Oh, wow.
You see, you think of this world and these levels or dimensions like this, and
Yes.
showing me this. It isn't really like this, he says. It's more like this. And again, he illustrates for me the roundness. There is a reason that this circle, this sun is a circle.
Oh, yeah.
It is the circle of life. It is life-giving. Without the sun, he's reminding us that there would be no life.
Well,
He
yeah.
created life. He sustains life.
Well, I, for one, am grateful. All right. So, on December, somebody said, have seen videos and heard interviews from people that they say that it's like a fueling station for extraterrestrials or intraterrestrials. Is that true that you are some sort of fueling? You also are a fueling station?
There's part of that that's truth. I am inclusive of all. And think of it like this. I provide training grounds. Humans will understand training grounds as a concept.
Yes.
And so the concept of coming together to train, to learn, this is an exclusive opportunity. This isn't something that everybody flies into.
Oh, okay. Wow. All right. On December 16th, 2011, Comet Lovejoy crashed into our sun, ouch, and came out again. That evening, this person says, my partner witnessed a cylindrical UFO coming into the atmosphere and passed near where he was fishing. What was going on? Wow. Cool.
Think of it like a pit stop. Think of it like getting fueled, he says. There was this incredible immersion into each other, and there was a filling up of knowledge and wisdom. And what came out and the physical representation that was seen by a select few is what governs the human beings right now. It is a source of information. It is energy that is ready to inform and inspire humanity.
Cool. Is the sun, are you observing what's going on around you, like on our planet and other places? Or is it just are you just being in the now moment?
I'm aware of everything. Understand that there isn't anything I don't know, and there isn't anything that I haven't ordered, that I haven't known about. And you say free will, and yes, I agree, it is free will, but the all-knowing knows what you'll use and how you'll choose. So I guess you could say, I know it all.
Mr. Know-It-All. That's your new name, Manos, Mr. Know-It-All. All right. Does the sun, do you communicate with other energies like angels? I kind of think we maybe sort of started to touch on that, but.
Always, always.
So what kind of benefits can we humans that we're not aware of get from you? Yeah.
It depends on how you work with me. If you are wanting to know more about life, get close to me. How do you get close to me? You get close to my creation. My creation is nature. My creation is humanity. And you spend more time in the light, the proverbial light and the literal light. The proverbial light is this awareness. He talks a lot about an awareness. I feel like could we use the word ascension in place of awareness? Erik is shaking his head, and Manos is saying yes. Ascension, awareness, it's all one.
Coming into your own light, I suppose.
Coming into your own light, your own power. You use the phrase on your planet, a spark.
Oh.
There is a spark between us. You use that phrase. Where do you think it came from?
Oh, interesting.
It's the spark of light. It is me.
Yeah. Well, I, for one, am grateful, except for my sunburns, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Can you talk about how we can use the sun to live a pranic lifestyle? And is this how future humans will live? I don't really know what that is, but maybe you do, because you are Mr. Know-It-All.
That's not possible.
Okay.
That's not possible to do.
Okay.
It's a disruption in the flow of my system.
Okay. Now, this person, I think it probably may be the same person. Some people are staring at the sun from a minute to an hour every day. Gosh, I hope they have a good ophthalmologist at sunrise or sunset. And it's said, and they've said that it has a positive effect. First of all, is that true? And how doing that affecting our physical body and our higher bodies too, like our aura?
It's very true. It's absolutely true. And if more people spent more focused time with me, especially during my waking up and my going to sleep, because that is the time when I am least effective or infectious, to the human.
Okay, but you're not really going to sleep. I mean, it's just all a matter of the world turning. So, but you're doing that for us to understand?
Depends on where you are.
Okay, I got you.
I'm relating it as he's telling me in human sense.
Okay. All right, so how does it affect our energy?
So when you spend time with the sun, Manos, you recharge. Think of it like having an electric car.
Oh.
You plug in. When you go out into the sun, I offer you replenishment to all of your cells, to all of your organs. It's spending time in the light. Think about what it does to your disposition, to your mood. As we talk about elevation.
Look at seasonal affective disorder. Can you talk about that? That there's not enough sun for certain people. They really crash and burn and get depressed.
People have talked about and even created artificial sunlight. It isn't the same thing.
No.
And so what can happen is you can get reserves of it in your body, meaning you go out into it while you have it, and replenishing it looks like coming in through the mind. I'm trying to articulate this in a way that, well, I can understand it and you can understand it, because it's a concept that you can have a reserve of it. He's showing me like a reserve of oil. You would have a reserve of oil that would be in what do you call them? Not buckets. What do you call those big oil bins?
Yeah, right.
Right. But he's showing me that obviously you're not going to have a reserve outside of your body. So the reserve of sunlight is in your cells and in your organs.
So make hay while the sun shines, basically. When the sun's out there, spend time with the sun, right?
Exactly. And that creates optimal health.
Okay.
A lot of times people look for artificial fixes for that, and he doesn't advise that. There is no substitute for being in my light.
Yeah.
And also the tanning beds. For some reason, he's going to these bulbs that bronze your body. You're killing yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can give sun cancer, right? Skin cancer, right? If so, what's the absolute best way to protect from like melanoma?
You've created something pretty special with my help. You've created these creams and ointments that you'll put on your body. And make no mistake, I was active in that process and bringing that forward. Because you are human, there is an intensity that comes with this covering that you have on your body, and you must protect your organs and your cells. And we've thought this out. So wear your creams.
Wear your cream. So, I mean, you don't say, hey, wait, is it just, hey, if you get too much sun, you're going to get skin cancer? Or is it some contract like that you don't have that as much to do with it as people think?
No, I have a lot to do with it.
Okay.
But it is also about contract work. You talk about contract work as if it's the answer to everything. And while, yes, contracts are big and it's important to understand your contract, it's also as important to not look at circumstances as contract, because when you see something as contract, it takes away your power and your free will.
Yeah.
And while skin cancer, as you speak of, might be in your contract, your free will, as you're in your skin cancer, could also help you.
Yeah. Okay, good. Now, can we heal ourselves from small or more serious illnesses, diseases, disabilities by bathing in the sun energy, or with or without intention? For example, is it possible to cure diseases like even cancer, except for melanoma, with sun energy? I mean, can sun energy heal?
It's more about preventive. It's more about preventing, but also understanding that the sun is like, as he's saying to me, the sun is like your vitamin C. You would drink your orange juice because it's a nice complement to whatever other regimen that you are prescribed. You will get your daily dose of sun because it's an integral part of your well-being.
Yes.
Also, there is something that he's also saying how it affects the chemistry in the body.
Okay.
He's talking about depression. So
vitamin D. I mean, you help us create vitamin D. So that's very important to the whole depression thing.
Take your, no coincidence, it's called vitamin D, right? Take your, he's pretty on top of it. Take your supplements, take your prescriptions, do what you need to do, But the number one thing is be with me. Now, he also clarifies that be with me means intention, not just physical sitting with, but intention.
Oh, like I intend to be in the sun and gather the energy, the healing energy, and so sort of like that.
So sort of like that, he's saying, but also intentional in the sense that you know why you're there. You know what it is you want to accomplish. You're there for, he uses the word, you can have an agenda when you sit in the sun, but be present and be mindful. So a lot of times he says people will sit in my light for pleasure. And while they're sitting with me, there's lots of other happenings going on. And that's great. Enjoy it. But also be mindful that you are, again, replenishing, restocking. This is extremely important as we change seasons.
Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah, like I say, make hay while the sun shines. All right, so is there a spiritual energy benefit to charging drinking water with natural sunlight?
Of course. Of
Okay.
course. It also has a very positive, loving effect on charging all of your minerals, all of your rocks.
Oh
There is
yes. Oh yeah.
something-
How does that work? How does this is another question somebody asked. How does sunlight and obviously moonlight charge and cleanse crystals on Earth?
It's an infusion of sorts. If you think about your body, your human body, and you get a blood infusion, you're giving life, you're giving more. And what's happening is these crystals, these rocks, anything, the water, it gets infused the particles get infused with the light. So there is, and eventually as these particles fill up, it radiates out.
Cool. Well, so that gives the crystals their power. So is there anything in us that receives this infusion more, like the mitochondria, some sort of intracellular organelle, or a certain organ or pineal gland, or
He's going there.
the pineal gland?
Pineal gland. And also I'm holding my head because I have this intense, like it's this powerful, and it doesn't hurt. It's just real intense band right around here.
Wow.
So the pineal gland, the pineal gland is the number one. It's it's funny because he showed me if you're going to put your gas pump in your car, it would be your pineal gland.
Okay. What about the mitochondria, the powerhouse of each cell?
Well, they get fed. They get fed from that infusion of sorts, right? And then they carry that, and that's what sustains the body.
Okay. Interesting. Is it true that the sun transfers special codes of consciousness to us? And if so, what are these special codes?
He says, I don't necessarily transfer special codes of consciousness to you. I awaken you to what it is time for you to know.
Oh, interesting.
And so while one person might be over here with the intention of receiving this formula, he says, then I would give them the code to that formula. You have to show up ready to play, he says.
Oh.
You have to show up with intention. It's not like I'm just going to boosh, put it all on you, and there you go. You have an active role in this.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.